Hey everyone, today I'm at Legends Oyster Bar. This is one of the best places for seafood that I know. It's located on the west end of town on Durango and Desert Inn. And as always, check the description below for more details, such as menu, prices, address, website, and links. The last time I was here, this place was really busy. This is a very popular place. You can also check out the reviews on Yelp. Let's show you some of the things that they have here. They have some items here that you may not find in an average seafood restaurant, such as lamb chops and beef stroganoff. But most people come here for the seafood, which is gaining quite a reputation among the locals. All I know is that they put out some good food here. Just giving you a heads up, the prices in this video are off the menu that I had at the restaurant. If you find their menu online, it might actually be a little bit more online because it may not be updated and prices may have actually gone down $1 or two. It keeps changing. Just keep that in mind, so just use it as a rough estimate. This is the seafood pan roast. I did a video on the oyster bar at the Palace Station because they are legendary for their pan roast. But the pan roast here is amazing as well. The pan roast here I found to be almost just like the Palace Station. And if you've had the seafood pan roast at the oyster bar at Palace Station, then you know how good it is. And if you know people who've had it there, you know how crazy they are about it. Seriously, people rave about that pan roast. It's like an addiction. But this one is just as good, and it's served with rice, and the taste of this pan roast is incredible. I would say that if I had a choice between Palace Station and here, I'd come here just because the wait is so long over at Palace Station. It's almost impossible to get in there. Some people wait 3 hours to get that pan roast. Now, I said this one was just as good. It might be just a notch below it, but the flavor of the crab meat and the lobster meat with the shrimp in this sauce is unbelievable. It's extremely good. You gotta try it yourself. They do have king crab here, but the prices for the king crab are so high, it's like buying gold. It literally is Yukon gold. King crab is at market price. And with the cost of the king crab, I don't know how the restaurants make money. But the fact is, it is available here. I love the fact that you can get all your favorite seafood items here, like this New England clam chowder. You can get it in a bread bowl too, for about $15. And the clams in the shell on top is a nice touch to the presentation. Today I felt like getting fish and chips because if you remember, I got fish and chips at the California Hotel and it was disappointing with kind of like a mystery fish. Didn't know what it was. This is cod. There's no question about it. Cod is one of my favorite fish for fish and chips. And they give you a mountain of French fries, and the fries were good as well. The crispiness on the outside, I don't know, this batch was a little bit not as crispy, but it was still delicious. And the flaky cod meat, you just cannot mistake cod. And some people say that halibut might be a better fish for fish and chips, and I've had that too at the South Point Hotel. But the cod is my favorite for fish and chips. I don't know, it just has the best flavor and the best flaky texture of the fish. It goes really good with tartar sauce. The fish and chips came out hot and it was really good. And I'm just remembering how good it was as I'm editing the video. And it's making me wish I had it again. That's how good it was. And while I was eating, I noticed this sauce on the table. It's called Louisiana's Pure Crystal Hot Sauce, and I noticed that it was almost empty. So a lot of people have used this, so I decided to give it a try. And oh my goodness, this sauce was incredible. I mean, it's very vinegary. Some people like malt vinegar with their fish and chips, and it's known that malt vinegar enhances the flavor of the foods that they're served with. The sauce here was similar to a vinegar because it had a vinegary taste and also a spice. It was kind of spicy, similar to Tabasco, only with more flavor. And I'm usually good with tartar sauce, but this sauce combination with the fish and chips on this day was really good. I have to go and see if I can find that Louisiana's Pure Crystal sauce. That sauce was amazing. They also have some really good looking lobster rolls. It's served cold or hot, $2 difference. I didn't order any today. This was somebody else's order. And usually I don't order lobster rolls, mainly because they have other versions of the lobster available. They have an oyster menu here as well, fresh oysters. Hey, they have oysters called Fat Bastard? I went with the Miyagi. I don't really know a Miyagi oyster either. I just know Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid. But anyway, these Miyagi oysters, I asked about the size of these and I was told they were kind of good sized today. So I decided to try them out. And I can't really tell the difference between all the species of oysters unless it's like a dramatic difference. Some are really small and some are really large, and supposedly the smaller ones taste better. But I can't tell too much of a difference, slight difference. I think it's more of the texture and the sensation when I'm eating the oysters. The freshness of it, the temperature, it has to be cold for me to feel like it's fresh. And then the kick from the spicy cocktail sauce. This is the way I like to eat my oysters. The thing that makes fresh oysters appealing to me is the experience. The cold freshness and the flavor of the ocean in your mouth. So there is a flavor, yes. I'm just not an expert in telling all the different flavors apart. But the fresh oysters are quite a sensual experience for me. You get a fresh feeling of the ocean exploding in your mouth, and there is a creaminess, slight oceanic brininess. There's just a great ocean flavor in the oysters. You can tell from the shells that these were pretty meaty oysters, and this also was served with vinegar. I've never really tried oysters with vinegar, but once again, this was also a great compliment to the oyster. This was a great way to eat the oyster. But of course, I still had to put my cocktail sauce on the oyster. I'm not sure if you're supposed to eat it this way, but it was pretty good. And they do have a few desserts here, most notably the tiramisu and the creme brulee. I don't know if it's $7 anymore, it could be off by $1. The creme brulee was similar to most of the creme brulees I've had, except that the top outer shell wasn't crispy enough. It was kind of mushy, so there was no crispy, hard candy texture at the top. But even without the crunchy top outer shell, the creme brulee was still a creme brulee. It was still good. So that about does it for me at Legends Oyster Bar. This is another visit, and it still continues to be one of my go-to places for seafood. So if you're around the west side of town, you might want to drop by. It's not a big place, so you might need a reservation. But I have seen people coming here straight from the airport. Some people arrive in their taxis or their Uber rides and they still have their luggage intact. Their goal was to eat at the Legends Oyster Bar before anything else. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.